Collaboration, no breathing.
I can't hear us.
Well, I was
Sitting there, selling turnips on a flatbed truck, crunching on a pork rind when she pulled up.
okay.
We're live, everybody.
Oh, here we go. Hey, welcome to New Skew.
Yeah.
Welcome to New Skew, the first New Skew of 2024.
Huevo squevo.
On God.
And
Sorry, that was instinct. My bad.
oh man, this is starting out great.
Reset.
Hey, thank
Start
you
again.
guys so much for joining us for the first New Skew of 2024. We've got a special one in store today because it's not one pedal.
It's another pedal. Two.
It's two pedals.
Two of them.
We are talking about two pedals today. We're talking about the Silt and the Meraki.
Mm-hmm.
The Silt Harmonic
Fuzz.
Fuzz.
Two.
And the Meraki
Stereo. Analog dual
Analog-
delay.
Oh, dual delay, right. Stereo analog dual delay. So let's jump in and just kind of go over what we're going to do. We're going to do a giveaway. So we're going to give a Silt away. We're going to give a Meraki away a little bit later. We're also going to have a Q&A section at the end. So as you're thinking of questions as they pop up, be sure and go ahead and put those in the comments as you think of them. And we'll be reading through those and compiling them and getting them all sent to this device here on the table, where I'll be able to read those, and then we'll be able to answer those to the best of our ability.
100%.
Right?
Yep.
So first of all, the Silt Harmonic Tube Fuzz. This thing is so exciting, so cool. We've been wanting to do a tube-based drive for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We've also been thinking about doing a collaboration for a while, collaborative design. And this kind of came together like naturally around a year ago, where we got in contact with a guy named Jim Hagerman, who is a little bit of a legend in the tube world.
Legend.
And so we want to jump right in and let you get to know Jim a little bit and kind of understand how this collaboration came about and all the work that went into that to develop the Silt. So let's jump into that real quick. Yeah, for those of us that don't know you, could you just maybe introduce yourself?
Okay. Well, I've been designing and building stuff for 41 years now. And then about 25 years ago, I started my own hi-fi business. So I'm doing phono stages and, preamplifiers and amplifiers and stuff like that. But I always wanted to do guitar. I came up with an amplifier, I did a Kickstarter, and then I did a few guitar pedals with tubes. And it just kind of took off from there.
Daniel, you want to talk a little bit about how we kind of got into the collab and kind of how it started and the journey there?
Yeah, well, I believe Jim hit you up first, and there was this sort of talk of a potential collaboration, and I think you had it originally, the idea in your head of a tube fuzz.
The fuzz on its own was amazing, and it really did what, in the end, what we were hoping for, which is just that sort of raw, warm, organic sound that you can really only get from vacuum tubes, right? I mean, Jim, you know this.
Yeah, I like the way the pedal has a lot of range to it, right? It's just not hardcore fuzz, but you can tune it down and, just get warm sounds and easy overdrive and, from mild to grit.
Talk about the contour switch a little bit, like where that's at in the circuit and sort of like what it's good for, why we brought that to the circuit.
Yeah, well, that comes from like the Klon, right? That's a certain frequencies response and tonality. Same with the tube screamer that people use in front of other pedals or amps to bring out a different characteristic, right?
Yeah.
Same with the treble booster. So it's kind of what we're doing in this pedal inside. It's like placing a pedal before it, but we do it for you, and that gives you, a treble boost or more earthy, grunty tones if you want.
Yeah.
So the three-way toggle, you get three different voices there, and I like the window too. That's something a lot of people probably don't realize behind the scenes. We did 9 versions of just the circuit, but then the evolution Daniel and I did just to get it mechanically fit, getting the tube inside so it, it's mechanically held in place and all that, and you added the window. I mean, there was an awful lot of, back and forth and progress in that area too.
Remember, we had a tube break, unfortunately, early development, where we're like, okay, we got to figure out the mechanical design of it.
There's so much that goes into it, I mean, it really is. Like, if you open it, you kind of get a sense of like, when you open it, you think like, okay, yeah, of course you would do it this way maybe, but like, it's not obvious.
That is a sign of good design, when it's so simple and elegant that people look at it and say, well, how else would you do it, right?
Right, right. But it takes a lot of work to get there. Yeah, well, thanks so much, Jim, for your time. I'm really glad to kind of get your face out and like have people meet you. I would highly encourage folks to go check out Jim's site. Jim, you want to tell them what that is?
Yeah, www.hagamps.com. So Hagerman amplification.
Yep. So go check that out. He's got a ton of pedal offerings on that site. And if you like the Silt, if you like kind of this idea and this direction that we've gone with this pedal, you won't be disappointed with the selection of other tube-based products that Jim has on his site. So yeah, get the Silt and get it in your hands, and can't wait to hear sounds, start to come out from folks that get it and get inspired with it. So thanks so much.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Give it up for Jim.
Welcome, Jim, to the Walrus family. This has been so fun to develop it with him, as you heard. Now that you know Jim, let's get to know us real quick, right? What's your name?
My name is Daniel.
Yeah.
I'm an engineer here at Walrus Audio.
What's your name?
My name's Ezra. I'm also an engineer here at Walrus Audio.
Yeah, my name's Jason. I'm also an engineer here at Walrus Audio. So a bunch of engineers just hanging out today. We also have Chavez over here on guitar. He's here.
He's here.
Yeah, he's
Also
here.
an engineer
He
at
showed
Walrus
up.
Audio.
He's our personal trainer and guitar shredder at Walrus. So let's talk through the Silt real quick, and then we'll jump into the Meraki. So Daniel, why don't you take us through the Silt? Like, what is it?
Yeah, so the Silt is a fuzz pedal. It has a 12 AU7 tube in it that we drive, and that's how we get that warm, authentic analog tube sound from it. And it also has a harmonic switch, which...
What is the harmonic switch?
So the harmonic switch enables a frequency doubler at the beginning of the pedal.
What?
Fancy words. But essentially it gives you like these overtones, these nice octave-like harmonics to it, which really lend well to playing nice leads that cut through. So
Yeah, so fun. It's got a ton of versatility. Like you said, it's got the tube in it, and that really contributes to this organic kind of breakup texture that you really can't recreate with solid-state devices like transistors or op amps. So we knew that we kind of wanted to explore that territory again, and we knew Jim was the right guy for the job to kind of help us do that. One of the really interesting things about the Silt is that it runs at 9 volt, 300 milliamp. And so a lot of tube pedals that you encounter will run at higher voltages, and that isn't necessarily a bad thing. But what's cool about the Silt is we were able to run at a lower voltage, so it's a little more easily powered from kind of these more modern power supplies on your pedal board. But you don't really lose anything because it's at that lower voltage. Jim is a master at squeezing out the sound from the tubes that we want to get at a lower voltage, and I really think we've been able to pull that off with the Silt. So we're excited to dive into that further here in a little bit. But let's switch gears and go over the Meraki. So Ezra, why don't you take us through the Meraki?
Well, the Meraki, like we said, is a stereo analog dual delay. It is capable of 1200 milliseconds of delay time, has 8 MN33005 chips in it.
8.
8
of them.
Has 8.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, it sounds really great on all sources really. Guitar, synth, piano, vocal, all that kind of stuff. Fully independent control, left and right.
Yeah,
cool.
So when we say it's a dual delay, what do we mean by that?
We mean it has completely separate left and right channels, ins and outputs. So it's fully stereo, fully separate, covers the whole range of your stereo field.
So there's really two 1200 millisecond analog delays in the box. But what makes it really special is the way we've built in interaction between the two channels, the left and the right. You want to talk through that a little bit?
Yeah. So we've got switching in there that you can do parallel, means the left and right stay separate. You can go ping pong. The left goes to the right, right goes to the left. And then series is they feed into each other in a really beautiful way.
Yeah, love those.
And
the visual.
This is
the
series.
visual.
This is series. This is ping pong.
Okay.
That's it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fully independent left and right channels, they can interact, they don't have to interact, and you have fully independent control over the left and the right if you want. So you can set the delay time and the feedback and the modulation depth and the modulation rate, the phase between the modulations on the left and right. You can set all of that independently if you want, or you can sync it all up and make both the left and the right match.
Yep.
And then, like we said, you can feed the feedback paths from the left and right into each other in a ping pong manner or a series manner.
That's series.
Right. And if it's not, I mean, that's how you know what that is, because the hand signals there. So let's dive in and let's hear him. Can everybody see Chavez? Let's pop over to Chavez. There he is.
Hey, Chavez.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? What's up?
Welcome, Chavez. Why don't we start with just a clean tone here? So we're running through an ACS 1 with a Fano offset. With a fun clean tone bridge pickup. Okay, let's kick on the Silt. Oh, that is so good. That is so good. Okay, let's jump over. Let's listen to the Meraki. It's two very different sounds, very contrasting sounds. But if we turn them on together, we can get some crazy lead sounds going probably. Throw
the harmonic on there.
Hit that harmonic side of the Silt. Oh, that is so good.
Beautiful.
Dang, love that. Love that. Okay, so before we go any further, we'll go a little deeper into each of these and start covering some detail about the controls, etc. But let's do our first giveaway. So we're going to give away a Silt. The way the giveaway works is we're going to ask a trivia question, and you put the answer in the comment section, and the first correct answer that we see is the person who's going to win. So you'll email help@walrusaudio.com if you are the winner, and we will find that out in just a second. Ezra, why don't you hit him with that first trivia? Let's do the trivia question first.
Yeah,
I see you
you're
reaching
right.
for the joke book. Ezra brought his joke book.
So trivia, it really is, everything's a joke. So what is the first dinosaur Dr. Grant encounters in the original Jurassic Park movie? We know the answer.
Ooh. Mallory, if you're watching, please answer.
In
The first answer that we see, the first correct answer that we see in the comments is the winner. Let's see how long it takes to get this.
I'm going to say under 10 seconds. Maybe. One thing that I have learned, though, I've been watching Suits.
Right.
And if you're a lawyer in court, you don't ask questions that you don't already know the answer to. So that's what we've kind of done with the trivia questions.
What if we
So-
try to find it out at the same time?
It's a bad idea. You're going to end up losing the case. They're going to dismiss it. That's what I've learned.
Mhm.
Do we have a correct answer?
Objection.
Oh, we do. Oh, look down here. Michael Roy.
Come on, Michael.
Michael, let's
Michael.
give it up for Michael.
Woo!
Chavez, clap. Thank you. All right, there we go. Michael Roy, email help@walrusaudio.com, and we will get you squared away with a Silt. I totally forgot that we need to hear the Meraki in context of a band, right? So let's
Yeah.
jump to that really quick, and let's listen to the Meraki pedal play.
That's the year that the world changed forever.
Yes, you should. He's tuning on long sleeves.
Same thing as
Yeah.
Yeah. That is so lush. That is so warm.
Beautiful.
It really is everything you want from a great analog delay and quite a bit more. Being true stereo, these dual delays, one on each channel, the left and the right. And yeah, just really thrilled with the Meraki. Ezra was the mastermind behind the Meraki, spent nearly 2 years developing it, and just really excited for that. Great job, Ezra.
Thank you.
Great job. Let's revisit the Silt for a little bit. Again, designed in collaboration with Jim Hagerman, who lives in Hawaii. This guy, again, is just a master of all things tube, and we knew we wanted to call in some expertise when it comes to tubes and pedals, and we got exactly that and spent almost a year with Jim going back and forth with prototypes. Daniel, how many prototypes did we go through?
Say about 8 or 9.
Yeah. Almost 9. Not almost 9, because that would be sort of like 8 and change. But I think it was 9 actually full prototypes that we went through to get this right. It's not based on anything that's come before it. This is a really unique design that Jim came up with the framework for, and then we got to get in there and kind of put some of our special sauce in. That's a lot of that came with the harmonic switch, and we were able to do some other things like add the contour switch. Why don't we talk about that a little bit? You want to talk through what that does, where it is in the circuit, why it kind of is helpful?
Yeah, so the tube is at the end of the circuit, and the contour switch comes right before the tube, so you can shape the sound going into the tube. So if you have it up, you're reducing lows, have more highs, so you can clean up like lower end stuff with a lot of end. It won't clip the same way as if it was flat. And if you do down, you cut a lot of the high end, you get this nice dark kind of warm sound.
Woolly fuzzy sound. Yeah. And in the middle, it's flat, so we just kind of let everything go through in the middle. And then post tube, we've got the tone knob, which is not exactly an ordinary tone knob. It's more of a tilt control, right? So at noon, it's going to be flat, and then as you go to the left, so counterclockwise, we're going to roll off highs but boost lows. And then vice versa. If you go clockwise, we're going to roll off lows and boost highs at the same time. So it really covers a ton of ground with that one knob and the one toggle switch, which is, again, the toggle is before the clipping stage, and then the tone knob is after the clipping stage. And then at the very, right before the tube circuit is where the harmonic section comes in, right? So talk us through that. What are we doing there?
Yeah, so right there is a couple transistors doing frequency doubling, right? So it takes the incoming signal, if it was like, let's say, a standard 1K, we'll double to 2K. So when you put that in concert with a guitar, it kind of doubles what's going into it and creating this upper harmonic octave.
Yeah.
So, and when you distort that going down, that's when you get that nice crunch and crisps. You bring out those harmonics.
Okay, so let's take a listen to it. Chavez has switched guitars on us. Let's listen to what we got going here. So if we go up, we cut lows. If we go middle, full frequency. And then down, we're cutting highs. Sure.
Yeah.
So going up.
Roll the tone down. It's nice and warm.
If we go back up towards the middle with the tone knob and then kick on the harmonic switch, you can roll your tone back on the guitar maybe, which harmonic, these analog octave circuits really like the guitar tone rolled back, and it'll really let the octave kind of shine. So.
It also works great rolled up with the volume up.
Yeah.
But it also cleans up nice with the volume rolled down. More gain.
Come on.
Oh, so fun. So fun. Okay, let's, so if we turn the harmonic switch off, right, let's show how it cleans up after you tune up.
Sorry. Soul Strat.
So very dynamic, even though when you're kind of up at full volume, it's just blasting with gain, tons of sustain, but cleans up really well if you roll your volume knob back, which is a really cool feature of the Silt. That's the Silt, right? We'll get to questions here in a little bit. We've got a bunch flown in. Again, if you have questions, put them in the comment section, and we will get to answering those here in just a little bit. But let's do the same thing with the Meraki. So let's see. Boy. Okay, so 8 MN3005 chips in the Meraki, 4 on each side, and that gets us around 1,200 milliseconds of maximum delay time on both the left and the right channels. Chavez, why don't you play a little bit, and then we'll talk through some of the other controls. So high feedback level there, so we got a lot of sustain going, and if we hold down the tap switch, we can actually make that run away. Then we let go. Get to do that whole fun spaceship taking off situation.
Mm-hmm. It's a good time.
Yeah. Ezra, talk through some of the other controls on the Meraki.
Yeah. So the core, you have the feedback in the mix for both channels, and then below that you have a row of knobs. Mod, that's mod depth and mod rate, and then you have your time control. Mm-hmm. And then on the right is your tone control, and that is a tilt EQ similar to what's in the Silt. So roll it to the right, and you're going to have more high end, less low end. Roll it to the left, you're going to have less high end, more low end. And the toggle switches below, the two on the outside are the tap divisions for the separate left and right channels. You can change those at any time. And then the middle switch to the left is your feedback path, and that's parallel, ping pong, and series.
Yep.
And then the super fun part is that mod time switch. And on your left is sync, so that means at any time, your left and right, the time and mod depth and rate will all be in sync, separate from the tap divisions. Those still work. But as soon as you flip over to either L or R, you can set separate delay times and mod depth and rates for those channels, which can create really, really fun different like beds for your sound to sit above. So yeah, that's the basic overview of that. And
Cool.
then, yeah.
Why don't we sync them up, Chavez? So like, let's put the switch there in the sync position, and then let's show the different feedback sounds. So let's start. I think we're in parallel right now, maybe, or let's start in parallel. So this is going to be both sides set to the same time, the same tap division, and the same mod settings. Are you in? Is the switch set to sync, Chavez? Okay. So if we were to go to, say, ping pong, you're going to hear the right and the left feedback paths cross over and feed into each other. Like staccato. I'm not hearing it.
It's I think our feed in our ears it's mono.
Are we mono right now in our ears? Ruh-roh.
Which is fine. It still sounds nice.
If we set the switch to series, and then do that same rake. So in series, what's happening?
So in series, the left delay line is feeding into the right delay line, and then back into the left delay line, and vice versa. So the right also goes into the left, which it sounds really nice. It kind of creates this sped up, syncopated sound, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Yeah, the Meraki is in this new sort of look and feel for Walrus. It's a departure from what you've seen from us before. Kind of this elevated aesthetic with new knobs, a new enclosure, this faceplate, and we really just wanted to bring it to sort of a level all by itself.
Yeah.
It really deserves to be there, and so that's kind of where we landed on the look and why we did that with the Meraki. Another thing to know is the Meraki will be released in limited drops. Because of the complexity of supply chain and building this pedal, it's going to be released in batches of around 100 a few times through the year. So if you're interested in the Meraki, you want to be watching socials and your email for when those drops are going to happen, and try to get in when you see that happen, because they won't be around for long. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's do another giveaway. And this is going to be for the Meraki this time, right? So
Yeah.
why don't you give us the second question? Again, it's the first answer we see in the comments that is correct. The first correct answer that we see in the comments to this question.
What is the largest dinosaur fossil found in the United States?
Give it to us again.
What is the largest dinosaur fossil found in the United States?
The Velociraptor?
No.
Oh, shoot.
We do know the answer.
Oh.
Velociraptors are as big as dogs, is what Philip said.
There's some pretty big dogs.
Smaller than dogs.
Make good pets, I hear.
Make good pets.
Dogs do, yeah. Miss June, shout out.
Oh, we have a winner, Evan Barros.
Woo!
Evan
on,
Barros
Evan.
is the
Let's
winner.
go,
Evan.
Give him a hand. Chavez, you know what to do.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Way to go, Evan.
You earned it.
Email help@walrusaudio.com and you will get set up with a Meraki stereo dual analog
stereo analog dual delay.
Yeah.
Delay.
Congratulations, man. Okay, so let's jump into some questions. There's a lot flowing in, and we're going to bounce between each pedal. So for the Silt, Daniel, talk about the tube. Should it be replaced? Can it be replaced? How often should it be replaced? All those kind of fun things.
Yeah, so The tube we chose for this pedal is a JJ12AU7. That worked well with powering it the lower voltages to be, used with modern power supplies.
Yep.
The tube is replaceable. It sits on this little breakout board that if you open the back, you can pull it out, swap the tube, put a new tube in. The tube shouldn't need to be replaced like right away,
Yeah, the tube won't need to be replaced, right? But you can.
You can try out different tubes.
You can try out like new old stock tubes. You can try out like a 12AX7, and different tubes will change the characteristic and the gain, like the breakup texture of the Silt. So feel free to experiment with that. But I would keep the stock tube handy, right? Don't get rid of that because the circuit is optimized for that JJ12AU7 that is shipping in the pedal. So good question. And that is kind of answers another one, which is what led to the specific tube choice for the Silt. Again, the circuit's optimized for that tube specifically. How does the harmonic side work? So we've covered that, but it's this analog octave up type circuit. And that sits just before the tube. And so when you engage it, it doubles all the frequencies that are coming into the pedal and gives you this analog octave up sort of signature sound. It works really well with the tone knob. It's really interactive with the tone knob and the volume knobs on your guitar. So be sure and experiment with all of that territory when you're using the harmonic side. And it's really great for sort of, I think that we use the word searing a lot, like searing lead lines. It really makes things like stick out of a mix. So you should be able to have a lot of fun with that and kind of wrap your head around it pretty quick. When you engage it, you'll start to understand it really fast. Let's see. Is the tube exposed for easy swapping? So we just covered that. Yes, it is for sure. If you take the back plate off the pedal, it's on a breakout PCB, and you can unplug that whole thing and then unplug the tube, plug a new tube in, plug the board back in, button it back up, and you'll be able to experiment with different tubes and see kind of how it changes the texture and the breakup characteristic of the pedal. What'd you say? That's in the manual. Read the manual. Colt, read the manual.
What else we got?
More questions.
Yeah, on the Meraki. So what are some reasons why a dual delay is superior to a single delay? Is it like having two delay pedals?
That's a good question. It is like having two delay pedals. But when you're running in a stereo setting, being able to keep it in the stereo field the entire signal path, it keeps that integrity. So if your instrument is like low stuff's on the left channel or high stuff's on the right channel, it keeps that to be true. And if you go mono, it sums that together and you lose that the width there. So that's the benefit of keeping it stereo.
Another question, can you run the Meraki in mono?
You can.
Right.
You absolutely can.
So in what channel would we be doing, how would we connect it if it's in mono?
Yeah, you would do the left channel in and out.
Okay.
And you do lose your ping pong ability if you do that.
But you don't lose
parallel or series.
Yeah.
And one fun thing you can try and experiment, I've done it, you can run the left output back into the right input and get some crazy sounds. So
whoa, pro tip, that's not in the manual.
It's not in the manual.
Think.
No.
Yeah.
It sounds fun.
So grab a patch cable, plug the right output,
left output into the right input.
There we go.
And then out the right.
And then out of the right. Exactly. Okay, cool. But just one more time, so if you are running it in mono, you can use parallel, and you'll just have the left delay line and all of those controls. You'll hear all of that affect the mono left channel. But if you put it in series, you'll also hear that effect as well, because when we plug into the left, we're feeding the right channel as well. But if you don't plug anything into the right output, you still can hear the whole right delay line if you put the pedal in series because of the way that we route the feedback of each channel. So be sure and experiment with that if you're going to use it in mono. Let's see some more questions. Is Chavez a firefighter on the side?
Chavez?
I'm not.
Have you ever fought a fire?
No, I'm not.
He's
never
fought a fire.
I don't think so.
Beat him
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe something very small, a kitchen fire or something.
If I was going to have to fight a fire, I would want Chavez to back me up in the fight, though.
I would do it for you.
I would want firefighters to back me up.
That's a yeah.
But
When
he's
you put
great.
it that way,
Yeah.
yeah. That's not a bad point. How does the Meraki do when sending stereo out into an amp cab sim that's only mono? So I think we kind of covered that. It depends on the amp cab sim that you're using, but if it sums the left and the right channels, then you'll hear the effects of, again, series and parallel, but you won't necessarily hear the effects of ping pong if we're summing those down to just a mono signal. Does the tap tempo in Meraki work with only the channel selected? And does it accept MIDI clock? So 2 questions.
Yeah. So it does accept MIDI clock. Tracks really well. And yes, if your sync position is in left or right, it will only affect that specific channel.
Okay, so you can set the time independently of the left and the right channels using the sync switch with not only the time knob itself, but also by tapping. So if you set it to say left and tap a tempo, the left side will take the tempo, the right will hold its tempo. If you set it to right, you can tap in a different tempo, and only that will only affect the right channel at that point. And it does take MIDI clock. It also has full MIDI control capability over nearly all the other controls on the pedal using MIDI CC messages. All of that mapping is laid out in the manual, so if you want to control the pedal with your favorite MIDI controller, you can do that, and all that info, again, is in the manual. What do we think about doing a reverb in the Meraki format?
Sounds great. It would sound really nice.
Yeah.
And look really cool.
It would look really cool. Yeah.
Stereo analog reverb.
Stereo, dual,
6 spring
6
reverb.
spring reverb, 3 on each side. Does the Silt sound good on bass?
We got a oof in the
Yeah,
room,
it does. If
which
you want to
means
hear it
yes.
on bass, go check out the Silt tech demo. So there's independent clips of bass running through it. Also, the Silt pedal play. Right. So Raul is playing his bass through the Silt all the time during the pedal play. So if you like the bass tone on the Silt pedal play, just know that bass is running through the Silt at all times. So let's see. Do we have any other questions? Tyler? Good. Covered a lot of ground there. I think that's about it.
That's it, folks.
So, thank you for jumping on New Skew today and getting to kind of learn about these 2 pedals, the Silt and the Meraki. They're both available today. Again, the Meraki is in limited drops and they're running very low right now. Last time I checked, so. Check with Walrus Audio dealers all over the world, as well as on our website for both of these pedals. And really excited for you to get them in your hands and start making fun sounds and seeing how you get inspired by them.
Oh, want to read a joke?
Sure.
Oh,
sure.
yeah, let's
I
end with a
personally,
joke.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, Ezra's going to end with a joke. This is how we start most every day in the R&D hall, is with a joke.
Hallway A.
Hallway A.
Hallway.
Who never gets paid for a day's work? This one's good. Anybody know it? A night watchman. You want to do one more?
Let's do one more.
What kind of person plays basketball in designer clothes, a Rolex watch? This is not fun. That's not a funny joke. Sorry. What does a baseball umpire do before he eats? This one's good.
I don't know. What does he do?
He brushes off his plate.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you
With
guys
that,
for coming.
we're done. Thank you so much for coming and joining us, and we will see you on the next one.